Hello and welcome to Music Industry City's New Thoughts, where we discuss fresh ideas and take a look at the music industry from a different perspective. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today is my fellow co-host, Stephanie Carlin. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, let us hear your thoughts in the comments below or join us in the chat. It's all good. Don't be shy. We're starting something new, by the way, with the chat. After we run through the show and we do those closing credits, those 15-second bumper, we magically reappear afterwards and hang out in the chat with you. So we're kind of like those, magical birthday candles. You blow them out and they relight up. Well, when we say, hey, see you next time, and then we run the credits, we magically appear at the end again. So if there's some of you, and the real cool thing is we actually talk about stuff if maybe we missed during the show or what we plan to do in the future. So you're kind of like a fly on the wall in a sense, and you get to ask questions. So you let us know if there's some other topics you want to discuss, if you have a question for our co-hosts or guests, anything like that. So, hopefully you stick around to the end, and let's get to it. All right, so what do we have on the agenda for today? All right, Well, 2021 is right around the corner. And yes, earlier this week on the Monday kickoff show with Aisha Adamo, we were discussing how to prepare and get your resolutions in place. So this seems like a great week to start thinking about it. It's not like you're waiting to the last minute to think about 2021. It's time to start setting those goals now, and how you can plan for 2021. And stay inspired and make some of the best art of your life. Plus, we have a special guest, DJ and music producer who rocks the dad socks with sandals, a dad hat, and a fanny pack, and coincidentally goes by the name Daddy. And that's with an upside down V. So it looks like we have a great show for you, but let's start off by checking with Stephanie Carlin. Stephanie, how are you?
Hey, Peter.
How you doing? I see you got a new camera.
Oh man, it gotta look beautiful on your show. All right, very important.
You got the hair. See, I don't have. Can I borrow some?
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe.
Let's talk about it after the show, after chat.
Somebody wrote to me. It was like, "Oh my God, Stephanie's hair is amazing." So I just wanted to let you know. They're like, "Oh my God, it's so awesome." So 2021. We're still likely going to be working from home, and the touring circuit's not going to open up anytime soon. I mean, we have the vaccines coming along, but that's a whole different story. So what's your take a little bit on starting right now to plan for next year?
So I am a planning freak. I love to plan for what's ahead. I don't like to plan for 2021 during 2021. It's already started.
You're already on to 2022.
Yeah, a little bit, but we're not going to get that freaky today.
All right. I'll let you ride.
There are these two hats we always have to wear as artists. You're both the visionary and the executor. And a lot of artists find that it's just really hard to jump back and forth between these two roles. So you might even decide that you're not good at executing things or getting shit done, but don't do that. Don't fall into that trap. You just need a plan that delivers reliable, small wins every couple weeks. And it's like literally some legit straight up project management. 2021 is the year artists can finally do some project management. You need the mental time to create, envision, drop into a flow state for your art. Your art is your deep work, but you also need time for your projects, like marketing, right? So one of the things I love about who I am as an artist and a leader is that at this point, it doesn't matter if I'm making my music or running my business, because every minute of it is steeped in awesome creativity, and I can drop into a flow state and do good, creative, deep work no matter what I'm doing. And I attribute this to one strategy that changed my life, and it's called sprinting. I design my weeks, my quarterly goals, my annual goals around sprints, and I execute a sprint and I get shit done. So I want to tell you about sprints. What is a sprint? So you have all these half-done projects, right? And you need to know what order to put them in. So sprints are how shit gets done in teams, but it can be really valuable as an artist. And it's so simple. A sprint is just 2 weeks of focused work on one project. A sprint is just 2 weeks and one project only. So you don't work on anything else during those 2 weeks except the one project. I'll say it again. You don't work on any other project except the one project you're focused on for 2 weeks. And you don't work on that project until that sprint. There's absolutely no multitasking allowed. So my clients like to counter me and argue me on this, and they say things like, well, wouldn't it feel good to make a little bit of progress on 2 projects at the same time? No, you cannot do that. You are not a magician. We don't want like a little bit of progress everywhere. That's how we wound up not getting shit done. We want to handle all the projects, but in reality, nothing gets done when we do lots of stuff little by little. So if each project in your life, in your career is a sprint, in sprint 1, sprint number 3 shouldn't even be a part of your mind. Each project should be one sprint, 1 2-hour block where you get it done. One of these projects could be writing your album, recording, setting up an email funnel, playlist pitching, working on graphics, shooting or cutting a video. But when you truly, truly do not multitask, 2 weeks is plenty of time to get shit done. And if you weren't doing all the other things, like kind of working on your website, kind of fiddling around with this song, you could get almost any project done in 2 weeks. Or maybe you need like 2 sprints, which is 4 weeks at most. And, you know, we don't have enough time today to plan your sprints, but I think I'm going to run a free workshop at the very top of the year in my Facebook group called Just Trust Yourself. You can always find me there. And I really believe this is a tool to end overwhelm and procrastination for good. And last week we talked about deep stuff about procrastination on this show and how to truly get shit done and start to feel good about it, which you have to do. You're here to awaken and lead. You're here to inspire. You're here to deliver a message. You have a purpose as an artist, and that is to speak truth. It is to elevate humanity, bring relief, bring freedom. So we can't get bogged down by this stuff. We got to get shit done, Peter.
And getting shit done is the key to everything. I actually, when I was running a new music seminar, one of my staffers bought me a Christmas present, and it was a giant coffee mug, and it just said, "Get shit done." I was like, you get me. You really get me.
It's a good little mantra.
Yeah. So many things. I mean, small wins, project management. I just did a coaching session with somebody yesterday, actually, and they were like, you know, what's my next step in my career? And I didn't talk to them about anything to do with their music. I talked to them about planning, and they like, you know, they would say, you know, we could dive down, but I'm just trying to give the bigger picture of saying like, all right, you want to release how many songs? When? Okay, so let's back time this in. When is your final, like your cycle going to be? Let's back time this in. All right, well, if you need to have it released on March 1st, then you need it to be at the distributor before that. You need to have your artwork before that. You need to have it mastered before that. You need to have it mixed before that. You need to have everything done. So start at that end, and then and focus on each week. So you're dividing and conquering, and some of those things take 2 weeks. So it's like taking little sprints, it's like running a marathon, or it's really training to run for a marathon. It's a series of sprints throughout that you have to achieve. You hit certain goals. And what I was also saying is about prepare. And I always say by taking time out in the beginning of whatever it is you're working on and putting together whatever, a spreadsheet or, you know, a whiteboard, however works best for you, is to prepare and put those timelines and some goals in there and stick to them. So like you're saying, focus on that one particular thing for 2 weeks, that project for 2 weeks. And if you do that, what I found is you actually have more freedom. Instead of trying to do all right, I need to fix this, I need to do this, I need to do all these 20 things, I find that you have more freedom if you are a little more rigid in putting together your timeline. Of course, things are going to slide here and there, but you find that, oh, I want to go in the studio and record. I need to do a few other things. You have more freedom, I find.
You're totally right. I mean, personally, I have a commitment to live my life completely undominated by overwhelm. I'm unwilling to be overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And I'm committed to feeling good through my sprints. Yeah. And that's the whole point of a sprint, is so that you can actually feel good as you execute something without feeling like you're behind on every other project.
Right. And also, if you schedule that in, then it's like, okay, sprint. And then it's like, okay, let me take a breather and let me get ready for the next one. It's called recovery. It's getting a good night's sleep. Sleep is important. Things like that. Yeah, I mean, we can go on and we can go on so much more on this. But one of the things I always say is another thing is you can't do more than 3 things a day. You can't accomplish 3 things in one day, because there's little tasks, and I'm not talking about making your bed, but that they say is start off by making your bed, and therefore you've accomplished the first thing of the day.
I don't always make my bed though, Peter. So I like to leave it messy. It makes me feel like, I don't know. It just makes me feel free to not make my bed every day.
Well, then there's the other side. I mean, there's 5 sides to every coin. Then there's the other side. It's the sign of a sloppy, messy room is the sign of geniusness.
That's what I feel like when I see my messy bed. Exactly. I'm like, oh, that's my creative ingenuity at work. Yeah.
Right on. All right. So we're going to move on. We're going to move our focus over. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We're going to chat a little bit more. You're going to stick around after the show, right?
That's right.
All right, fantastic. All right, now we move our focus to a musician who has defined his own brand and loves to talk about how to make yourself stick out in the noise. Please welcome Daddy to the show. What's up?
Hey, thank you so much for having me on.
I'm so happy you made it. I mean, it's been a long time coming that, we were talking a couple months ago, and I'm like, all right, you got to come on the show. But you had a big day today.
We actually just closed on our first home as a family. So we're really excited. I'm really a daddy. I'm really a father and a husband. And we finally were able to get our first home, and we're moving in today. So it's exciting.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I mean, and it's what a great way to end this year.
Totally.
It's and it kind of gives you a good mindset going into 2021, because I'm sure now, especially after hearing what Stephanie has said, you're in for a whole lot of sprinting now that you're a homeowner.
Oh, I am ready for this next year. I am 100% ready for this next year. We're excited.
Right on. So let's get a little background on you for our viewers, okay? You're partner in an artist agency. You've been producing, streaming. Fill us in a little bit.
So, yep, I'm Daddy. I'm the dad of the internet. I make a blend of rock and EDM, and it's my own proprietary cocktail. I think it's pretty sweet, but I have a lot of fun with it. I've been doing this project for a few years now with Steel South Duty, who I know that you've talked about before. He's a big fan of you, Peter, that's about it. I make fun music. I DJ from a 4-burner propane grill. I don my dad hat and my polo and my socks and sandals and my fanny pack, and we're ready to go.
Right on. So let me. There's a few other things, and I've been wanting to. And I know Steele, and I haven't had a chance to actually ask him about this, but I want to talk about the Area 51 Raid Festival. So for anybody who remembers, it was last year, the Area 51 raid that was all put together, and you were the team that put on Alien Stock.
Yep.
When did you come up with that? Was that just one of those over a few drinks, let's put on a festival with all these people raiding Area 51?
Oh yeah, dude.
Hey.
So that's the baby right here. He came to say hi. This is baby. This is what makes me a daddy. He can say hi.
What's up, buddy?
So I'm a huge memer, and I have always loved memes. And so as soon as this, I was actually this is my little weird flex. I was in the first 2,000 people that found the Raid Area 51 Facebook page. So right at the very inception of the meme, and I shared it with Steele and my friends. I was like, "This is hilarious! We got to go do this." And it actually Steele was the one that convinced me, like, dude, we just got to go out there. I'll bring my Sprinter van with all of my speakers. And we'll just go out there and we'll just throw a rave ourselves. And so that was kind of our plan. We were figuring out how to get that speaker system going and everything like that. And then we reached out to the owner of the Little Alien, which is out in Rachel, Nevada, which is the town right outside of Area 51. And basically, long story short, they needed help, and we're like, hey, we're an agency, we can help organize this. And so we brought a bunch of our friends out, and yeah, we had a blast, man. We ended up having 2 stages, and it was just super fun. We got to meet a lot of really cool people and through a really fun show. And there was a few thousand people out there, and it just ended up being one of the most fun experiences of our life.
That's great, because I remember hearing about it. I'm like, that's got to be really cool. And then it was like, wait a second, this is the people that did it. So 2020, hopefully 2021, maybe you could raid Area 51 again.
We were going to do it this year,
yeah.
But COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about branding, and that's we came down to is like, you talk about, it's like, I'm the dad of the internet. Here is my brand, and I own it. From your website, the verbiage that you use, the look. I mean, I love the image of you like at the barbecue with the hot dogs, like everything. It just screams dad. Right here is proof. Okay, so. But when it comes to like what brought you to like, hey, I'm daddy? Well, like, what was that moment?
I'm getting older, dude, and I don't have time to be cool. You know what I mean? I don't have time to act like I'm cool. And so I just realized, I'm a dad. I'm just going to lean into that, and I'm going to have so much fun with it. And we're going to make it into just something that's so ridiculous that people, they can never make fun of it, because it's just it's too weird, and we just own that. And so with Steele and me and the team, we just were like, let's just create the most outrageous, funny, cool brand, and that's how Daddy was born. And so that's where we're at today. And it's really integral to who I am. I love my family, like they're my life, and I love music, and so I'm like, why don't I just be both? And so that's how it was born.
And when did you like make that transition?
So, I mean, the short of it is, it was actually a forced transition. I was performing under another artist name, and I had signed to a label, and I'm not going to name any names, but they kind of screwed me over. And there was about a year period where I couldn't produce or release anything under that name. So I was just like, you know what? Like, screw this. I'm just going to start something else. And it was kind of out of that desperation that this was born, and I'm way happier under this moniker and working and releasing this type of music, and so it was kind of born out of necessity, but really happy with where it went.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So what would you say to somebody? I mean, because you took a gamble. Like, taking a gamble is like, we're going to make this silly. We're like, I'm not going to be the cool kid. I'm going to be the anti-cool, and it's like you take a gamble on that. So what would you suggest to people, like artists that want to like take that risk of, I'm going to brand myself a different way that's outside what people normally see? Because so many artists are like, oh, I'm trying to be this, and they're always trying to do that. And like, you see photos, I'm like, here's the same exact photo with the same backlighting and the same texture, and it's like, then like, I'm like, hey, I've seen 5 of you. And then it's also with the music. So what would you suggest to people that want to take that risk?
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. One of my favorite music industry experts, Wyatt Christensen, he runs a YouTube channel called Dawn Nation. Me and him were having a conversation one time, and he was talking about, he's like, imagine the music industry is a giant building, and there's a couple doors, and there's just hundreds and thousands of artists that are just in line, and they're just trying to like pitch themselves to be let into the music industry, which is that big building. And he's like, you can go your whole life and never make it into that door. The line's really long. You have to be outstanding. There's a lot of other good people. It's like, or you can go climb in the air ducts, or you can go climb up in an upper window and figure out how to throw a grappling hook up and just climb up and just go a weird, different way. And that always stuck with me. And that's what I realized I wanted to do is, I'm a little different. I have another career as well. I am a dad and a father. And, I know you're talking about doing three things. I do three major things. I do music, I do a job, and I do, I'm a dad. And so for me, it's just like, I don't have time to wait in line. I got to go. I just got to be as crazy and as out there as possible. So I can climb up through one of those windows and make it in. And it seems to be working out well so far.
And that is so true. When I was doing New Music Seminar, and this ties to like you being here. We're going back 5 years, and we had a project. It's called the Artists on the Verge Project. And what we would do is, because we had the festival, and bands could not apply to perform. Like at South by, you can apply and then you'd be accepted. We would curate. We'd had industry people, tastemakers, media, A&R people, and we also had some data analysts and stuff. And so we used all these different stuff to create a top 100 list of who we feel are breaking, like what artists are around like 30, 35 miles an hour and ready to break the speed limit in the next few years. And then we would invite them, we would put them on, we'd get like a top 100 list, and they would be invited to perform. From there, we'd pick a top 3 to perform, and then A&R people vote, like, it's a whole thing. And Steel's band actually won that year.
Yep.
And, so, but the thing is that people would come to me and say, how does my band, or how do I, as an artist, get on your Artist on the Verge? How do I make it onto there? I said, make me find you. And not by pitching me right now. Do something that's going to make our team, and it's not me, we had 30, 40 people that would work on this project. And, so you have from all different industries, from all different sectors. And it's like, do something to make us find you. Whether that's a brand, whether that's music, whether that's something like you believe, you're passionate about something, you're speaking about something, your talent, but make us find you. So, what's next for you then, really quick before we wrap?
Man, I just think this year is a lot of expansion, a lot of experimentation. I can't really sit still. Blending rock and EDM has been so fun for me. And so I'm just expanding into like more genres of that and just pulling it in. I've got some really fun collaborations and more of like the hip hop MGK kind of vibe. I've got some heavier stuff that's going to be, we'll call it Daddy After Dark, where it's a lot more heavy and metal. And there's just going to be so much fun. So lots of new releases this year, hopefully some performances, and just continuing to have a blast with it.
Right on. And Daddy After Dark. So is that like when you go to bed at 8 o'clock?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right on.
After the kids are in bed.
All right, what I want to do is I want to bring up Stephanie. Let's bring this all full circle here, Stephanie. So, let's tie in everything together. You heard Daddy. He's talking about he just closed on a house, so he's got a lot on the plate for next year, and also with his releases. And you were talking about like getting those plans in together. So, what are your thoughts on the Stephanie as a brand, as branding yourself?
I will never forget you. Because you have nailed that one line. I did not know who you were, but I didn't know you were going to be our guest today. So I didn't know who you were before today. And I promise you, I will never forget you. And that is some fucking branding genius. I'm probably going to go share you with all of my clients and be like, look at how I will never forget Daddy because of this one line. I'm the dad of the internet. Brilliant.
I love your hustle. I literally was connecting with you so hard when you were talking. So I'm glad that we're connecting. This is awesome.
Yeah, I don't tell my co-hosts anything about the person that's going to be on the show. I just say we're having a guest. So I don't want them to know anything. I'm like, here, you're going to learn everything right here. Here's your thing.
Well, today's about as wacky as you're going to get. So hello, I'm Daddy.
So Dad, you were vibing on what Stephanie was talking about too.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing that I see in. I was talking about this the other day to a friend, because my music is pretty different. It doesn't get a lot of playlist support. It doesn't get it just doesn't fit like very well. But if you hustle and you really just make the plans and you're just always on top of thinking for the next step and making sure that you're focusing on it in like an organized way, on the marketing, on the branding, how you're reaching out, all that stuff, it all works forward to pushing you to a good place. And I think that So often people just get laser focused on one section of it, and that's why they don't succeed. I always say some of the best producers and musicians die in their parents' basement. What I mean by that is that they laser focus too much on one thing, and they're unable to reach out, set the goals, and follow them. And that's really all it takes for success. Is anyone can do it as long as they use the right steps and they follow the right keys to success. And so I just love the way you were talking about that, and how to maybe break some of those people out of their heads and teach them some modes to be able to progress and grow as an artist.
Yeah, 2021 has got to be about doing things a new way and bringing simplicity to our life and slowing down just a little bit. If there's anything that 2020 has forced us to do, it's to slow down. And so this is a really great way to be methodical and actually just enjoy your life while getting that shit done. For sure.
That's the key, isn't it? That's the key, right? It's not being happy at the end of this. It's being happy in the hustle and happy in the marketing and in the creation, in the production, and getting the master done in these interviews. Like, that is how you be successful as an artist, is enjoying it while working hard. And that's the success. That's the drip, that keeps you going.
All right. Fantastic. Amen. All right. Yes. Amen to that. All right. We're going to wrap up, and that's it for today. Thank you for all. I just tripped myself up on my own sentence structure. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to continue the conversation, stick around. After I roll the credits, we're going to magically reappear and chit chat with you in the comments in the chat. You're just going to hear is what we missed and what we're following up on. So it's a really open format conversation. If you also like this, hit that like button, whatever it is on whatever platform you use, the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell to be alerted about new shows. Tonight, 9 p.m., we have Freeform, which is the call-in show. That's a lot of fun. You never know who's going to show up, what topics we're going to rant on about. We go for hours. So it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. We go for a few hours there. You can also find us at musicindustrycity.com and on your preferred podcast. Thank you again to my co-host, Stephanie Carlin. Have an awesome day. Peace. All right. Hey, all right. Now we're off the record.
It was the throw for me. That was my favorite thing I've ever seen. It was so perfectly timed. That was beautiful.
That's my brand. And
it was beautiful.
And I have one. It was about 2 weeks ago where I actually nailed it. It was a transition. Like, you just saw the paper just go like this, separate, and just fade to black. Well, during the show, I've been doing this thing where I just fold the corners a little bit, kind of wrinkle it up, so it gets so it separates easier and kind of catches some air. So. Oh, that was great. Thanks for coming on. That was really cool. And like Stephanie said, it's like, own it. It's kind of like you just like the dad of the. It's like, yeah, there you go. If you're gonna say it, own it.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say to me, dude? What are you gonna say to me that I haven't done myself? Like, I dressed up, like I had the biggest feature of my career, and the entire video was just us as animojis. Like, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? And I have fun with it. So.
And speaking of animojis, I was looking at what was I looking at last night? It was the VR, the Artscape VR, is it? It's not the VR chat. It's the other one. It is. Where is it? Alt Space VR.
Artscape.
Alt Space VR. And I was thinking about doing a get together because it's kind of like what they were doing with the Minecraft stuff. And we would do like just a get together, and you can put yourself into like you can do a podcast from it. You can set yourself up in a theater, and I can have tables and like people sitting there and doing conversations. Like you can pick up a microphone, and then there's an audience, and then you can go into like here, and the bar's in the other room, and people can go hang out in the bar, and so you can walk around.
Do you think I can get my grill in there?
I could. We could set up a DJ grill for you. I like it.
I'll drop a song for you guys.
Steph, you into doing like a total VR like hangout
showcase?
I feel so elderly when people start talking about VR. I'm like, I gotta go home. It's late. I like get so intimidated by all these conversations about VR. I haven't even touched that kind of tech. I'm also scared that I'll like it too much. Also, I'm a little scared I'll like it too much, and then just like only want to connect with people virtually through VR. So it feels like a little dangerous to me. I'm making all that up though.
Yeah. So I never played Minecraft. I was never really a gamer. I mean, years and years ago, like I was a gamer. Okay. But I was more of a hacker. Like we're talking like, your daddy, I'm just old guy compared to you. All right.
Your grandpa.
Yeah, I'm grandpa. I actually, for a while, people were just like Uncle Pete. I'm like, I don't know. That
sounds like a good hot sauce. I want some Uncle Pete's hot sauce.
Uncle Pete's hot sauce. But because of the Minecraft, the CubeCon that they did last week, I had to buy Minecraft. So I downloaded Minecraft, and then I was like, the next day, I'm like, hey, let me try playing this Minecraft. So of course I go to YouTube and say, how to play Minecraft, and I go and watch like 3 hours worth of YouTube videos in an hour and a half because I watch everything at 2x. And it's like how to survive your first night in Minecraft. So I'm playing it, and I'm playing it in the dark. I'm in the studio, and I just turned off all the lights. I'm playing.
Wait,
in the dark.
Was this in VR?
No, this was Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Minecraft has VR. So that's what I was wondering if you're playing Minecraft VR.
No, I wasn't playing it in VR. I was playing. I was playing the Java on the PC. But I'm telling you, first and foremost, Minecraft is a scary fucking game. It is scary.
Oh, yeah.
Like those sounds, the sound design is absolutely amazing. And then it gets dark, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay, the Walking Dead is really coming out after you. And I'm like, run back to the house.
10 hours. You just spent 10 hours building a house, and then a creeper comes and blows it all up, and you're just like, come on, man.
And I finally got and then I was like, all right, let me play the next time. I'm like, let me just play 2 hours of an hour of Minecraft. And then it's like, I can see how it's so addicting because you're like, wait, I just want to build that other wall. No, if I put a second story on the house, I can do that really quickly. Well, wait, let me dig a little deeper. I need a little more iron. And next thing I know, it's like 3 hours later.
Now you're sounding exactly like my 14-year-old stepson.
Yep.
You say that.
Yep. That's a real thing, Peter, what you experience.
And that's what, like, Stephanie, like you were saying, you're like, I might like it too much. And I'm like, yeah. And then I found the VR thing. And I'm like, we need to do these talks in this VR thing. So get ready for it.
You know what game I've been super into that is heavily invested in the music industry that I've been playing a lot recently is Rocket League. I don't know if you've played that before, but they have a deal with Monster Cat, and all of their music for Monster Cat goes onto that game. And Cascade even just released an EP that is for Rocket League. And so that's been a really fun one as well. That has been very interesting.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll have to check that out because, Monster Cat
like car soccer.
Right. And Monster Cat is taking over. I mean, the whole thing with the Twitch DMA, that strike. So Monster Cat's really placed themselves well, and Harris Heller, a few others. But like, that's what's also killing the music industry too, is the fact that the music industry has to do that. I mean, but it's also, in a sense, there's simultaneously, it's Schrodinger's cat situation. Because what they're doing is they're protecting the creators, the artists themselves that wrote the music, and content creators that is being used by other content creators. On the flip side of that is because they have to do this, Now you have all these other music production houses that are saying, yeah, license music from us for $10 or Monster Cat's like, here, license music, Harris Heller, stream beats for free. But like Epidemic Sound and things like that, they're saying, hey, license our music. You can use all the music wherever you want for $10 a month. And now they're taking the music industry's cheese, okay, because they're like, yeah, go ahead and use all this music. And Epidemic Sound's like valued at $1 billion right now. So the music industry has to do this.
It's an interesting time.
But simultaneously they're shooting themselves in the foot. So
I think overall we're in a very special time with the internet having been introduced just a few decades ago. Mm-hmm. I think all of this is just it's the evolution of that, right? It's gotten so out of hand that everything switched from physical to digital, and now it's switched to streaming, and it's just moving so fast. I think we still have a lot of growth to go, and it's just interesting to see how our peers are taking this and moving it to the next step. And it's a very interesting time. It's Wild West.
I'm so excited by it. I think there's no better time to be alive than right now and bearing witness to all of this and the amount of information and power we can have with it. It's just extraordinary. I can't speak to the moving parts of the business. I try my best to pay as little attention to that or just get my info from Peter. But I'm just so excited to be alive to watch it all unfold.
Do you have any of the people over in your group and everything that are any of them doing live streaming or anything like that?
In my group?
Yeah, in your community.
In my programs? Yeah, they're doing a lot of live streaming, but over on Facebook, over on Instagram, not too much on Twitch. I haven't really gotten into Twitch. This is my introduction to Twitch, is everything we're doing together here. And every day I'm thinking about the ethical principles of streaming and bringing my listeners onto Facebook, and if that's really something I want to continue doing, because man, shit is heating up over there.
Yeah, it's every platform has has gone through and will go through again another day of reckoning, and now with the antitrust going up for against Facebook, so certainly interesting time to be alive. All right, everybody, I think that's cool. I think we're gonna wrap up. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and if you two just hang out for 1 second, and I'm just gonna roll those credits again, so we know that we're ending. All right, everybody, see you next time, and come join us 9 p.m. tonight at Freeform. I'll see you then.